Today I'm looking at old STS-134 footage from NASA. Essentially the penultimate space shuttle mission. And I have to say, this mission is littered with gems. First up, we're going to join the action just before the first rocket boosters are jettisoned. I'm going to highlight the curve. And then from the same camera, a few seconds later, it would seem NASA are going to flatten the curve. Very strange. So we'll look at the jettison first, and then I'll come back to you.
And standing by for separation of the solid rocket boosters.
Now, solid rocket boosters have just been jettisoned. Please take note of the camera, where it is in relation to the shuttle and on the booster. And of course, take note of the curvature bottom left from this camera, okay?
Orbiter is now traveling 3,200 miles per hour downrange.
Now that orbiter was traveling 3,200 miles an hour. It would literally be leaving the camera we're viewing this from at nearly a mile per second. That would be 0.8 of a mile per second. Do you think that thing is traveling nearly a mile per second away from the camera?
50 miles, altitude 37 miles. All systems in good shape.
I think it's not traveling at those ridiculous speeds. But anyway, we're back here.
Endeavour, Presta Miko and single engine Zaragoza 104.
Roger, Presta Miko, single engine Zaragoza 104.
Several calls there. Endeavour can reach a safe orbit on...
Again, please note the curvature still from the same camera.
2 engines now. The guidance system is controlling the engines to roll Endeavour to a heads-up position to optimize the air...
Note the curve.
Ground communications through the satellite network.
Boom! Same camera, but NASA have just flattened the curve. So they've got further away from Earth and it seems to have got flatter and flatter. Strange. Well, this is them supposedly going to meet, rendezvous with the ISS, but what we actually get to see is some even rarer footage of the toy model ISS. Never seen before, but incredibly revealing as we look at this toy model ISS up close. And if you can't see this is a toy model, if you can't grasp this, this is on you, I'm afraid.
To the International Space Station.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go swarm and
Come on, guys. Be serious with yourself now. Looking at this. This is up close and personal with a toy model ISS.
I'm going to start going up on top of your I'll be careful. Getting ready? Going in.
Getting ready? We're going in. We're going into the toy model ISS. Ridiculous. So this is them supposedly coming in.
3, 2, 1, mark.
So much of this old footage is aged terribly. Oh dear. I mean, come on. Come on, guys. Look at that. Look at the state of it.
Endeavour is now
And now we got the Earth Lighting Company going on and off here. Nothing to see here, yeah, nothing sketchy.
310 feet from the International Space Station. Flight Director Gary Horlocker now pulling his flight control team.
Ridiculous. Now, having supposedly arrived at the ISS, we get this tomfoolery with some food. And essentially we get to see an early augmented reality fail here from our mate on the right, who's got some food on his fork. We're only interested in matey boy on the right and his interaction with the spinning fork, okay? Essentially, what happens is he gets distracted by his mate behind him, loses track of where the spinning fork is. You wouldn't if it was really there. Loses track, scratches his head, has to check the monitor in the corner here, which is to our bottom right, to gauge where it is, then goes back to grab the spinning fork, misses it completely and puts absolutely 0 back in the bag, which is in his left hand. So we'll watch it without me stopping it, and then I'll stop it and break it down just as I've just done. So let's have a look at our mate here show an early augmented fail here, and we love it. Remember, it's only matey boy on the right and his interaction with the fork we're interested in.
The shrimp is, but it seems too fresh. That's some asparagus. Yeah. Hey, I want that asparagus.
That's some fiesta chicken. That's the best stuff.
Oops. Let's come back. Matey bottom left here in the green top looking. He knows he's just guffed up. He knows his pal's messed up. Let's come back. Shockingly bad fail that.
I don't know how old the shrimp is, but
Spins the fork. Gets distracted by his mate here to his right.
it seems too fresh.
Distracted, and as a result of being distracted, loses track of where the fork is now. And as a result of that, scratches the head.
That's some asparagus. Yeah. Hey,
Going to go to grab it and realises he didn't have a clue. Scratches the head, still doesn't have a clue, so now needs to check the monitor. Bottom right as we're looking at it.
I want that asparagus.
Checks the monitor, now comes back to try and grab the fork and totally misses it and puts absolutely 0 back in the bag.
Some fiesta chicken.
Got absolutely 0
That's the best stuff.
and puts 0 back in the bag, and the fork is still there. And like you can see, our mate bottom left in the green top looking knows and realises what a mess he's just made of that. Early augmented fail. Off the back of the shuttle flattening the curve just now, it would seem this STS-134 is a great mission. One of my favourites so far. To summarise, at the start we got to see the space shuttle supposedly doing ludicrous speeds. Obviously untrue. Then we saw NASA from space literally flatten the curve from the same camera right before our eyes, just like we can see on screen at the moment. Now if that wasn't bad enough, then we got to see the International Space Station in all its toy model glory, in some of the most damning footage there is out there. So we've had ludicrous speeds, NASA flattening the curve from space, an International Space Station that looks like a toy model. Then we had the globe Earth flickering on and off, seemingly a lighting issue. Add to that the special effects meltdown involving the food and the fork. Dear oh dear, it would seem old STS-134 is not only littered with gems, but is an absolute masterpiece in how to debunk and make a mockery of heliocentric space. You gotta love these old space shuttle missions. Love it!